So how you doing?
Story?
What's the story? Bye. So Lauren, from
Switzerland.
Sorry about the French thing. I was thinking, great, I can talk about the whole thing in France at the moment.
Demonstration and stuff. And
don't mention it. You idiot. France is in a lot of anger at the moment, man.
At the moment, yeah.
Especially after that shooting of the kid. That's just fucking terrible, man. But look, let's try to wish him well, wish the French people well, because let's be honest, governments are fucking up all over the shop.
I know.
And I'm not going to go there today.
No.
That's
it's
kind of whoop ass.
in my point of view, it's like politician playing chessboard.
Politician playing king.
Playing king.
And they shouldn't be fucking, I mean,
yeah.
Is democracy even, is it a thing anymore?
In France?
Anywhere.
I don't think
in the whole fucking world, is it anywhere?
Oh, we have a democracy in Switzerland.
Do you know?
Yeah. Switzerland is probably the only advanced democracy in the world, because if you have an ID that will help Switzerland, you can put up your ID. If your ID is not anti-constitutional and it can help the whole population, then you have 2 years to collect 100,000 signatures. If you were able to do that, the two chamber and the people of Switzerland will vote on your initiative. And if there's a yes, then it's going public.
Tell me, is Ibrahimovic the soccer player from your place?
Ibrahimovic?
Yeah, is that his name? I'm sure it is. He retired recently. He's probably not. So if you knew,
I'm not into football, but
Zlatan.
Oh, Zlatan! No, he's Sweden. That's Sweden. He's not Switzerland.
I'm getting everything right today. This is what happens when you go no script.
It happened a lot that people miss between
Yeah.
and Sweden.
Ignorance is bliss. I'm blissful.
No, Sweden is, it's way north in Scandinavia and something.
So what's it like in your home country? What you miss the most about it?
The 4-season weather.
Being like reliable?
Yes.
Well, you get them here, but in every day.
Or 4 times a day.
4 times a day, yeah. I mean, I was going to work there. What day was it? I think it was Thursday or Monday maybe, and it was lashing. I just got out of the van. I was getting things set up, and it's just 20 minutes of heavy rain.
Yeah.
And an hour later, I'm getting tingles from the sun on my arm. It's that intense. It's like fucking. And then you have the wind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's a wacky. That's why all the Irish are mad, like, you know. They have the weather to tend, but it's just battering them all the time with teasing them. So, but it's beautiful for photography.
It's beautiful for photography, the countryside,
Yeah.
public transport as well. It's
Whatever tickles your fancy. I'm not a fan of public transport.
Are you not?
No, I like to be as independent as I possibly can be. Like, it's just people. But individuals are brilliant. Yeah, but fucking people.
Imagine you can be that independent with public transport that is reliable.
Well, that is deluded. That is so deluded. You can't, because again, you're not factoring in the human element. I mean, when you have a society, and I think we've a very aging population. I think I heard recently, and so, you know what I mean? It's like, fuck it, you can't say, well, this is the plan and it's going to be perfect. Yeah, it's like most things. Most theories are perfect because they're theories. But when they're put into practice, they're not good because you've all these people. Yeah. And I'm delighted for that because, you know, it's like community doesn't exist without the individual. And the individual is more important than community. And everyone should be fucking thinking shit all the time. They should be questioning shit all the time. I mean, you're only here for a short while.
Yeah.
So make it your time.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do what you have a passion for or an interest for. Don't be letting some whatever tell you, no, this is how you do it now. Well, fuck off. But, so how long are you involved with the Cork outfit there we were shooting with last Sunday? In the archery?
If I was involved,
Yeah, are you involved with that club?
I am. Yeah, I used to be the secretary of the club. Now I'm just a member of the committee.
Right.
Yeah, I
That's
started in the club in 2018.
that club.
In that club, South Cork Field Archer. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
It's Jeez, there's some hard shots in there, lad.
I know.
The stepping, the pins where the pins are. It's like, how am I meant to fucking shoot from here?
But that was the aim of it.
It's very good though. It's very
Yeah.
challenging. There's some
Yeah.
shots there I was sure was getting them,
Yeah,
and I wasn't.
the founder of the club, your man Dave Lester, he went to Scotland at the border bow,
All
and
right.
they also have an archery range over there, and all the tricky part of what he found in at the border bow, and he also has his friend in Mayo, in the Mayo
Right.
Archery Club. They also make some tricky shots. So he gathered these two, Border and Mayo, into Cork and to make it. And to be honest, the Cork shoot used to be one of the hardest in Ireland because of the river,
Yeah,
the
'cause, I mean,
forest and things.
If you were to just look at some of those targets, you'd think, this is easy, I'll get this shot. But then your brain is aware of the landscape and all those little distractions, and it's like, that's a fucking hard shot. I don't know if I get that shot. But in reality, if you just box it out, well, it's obviously this far away, it's at this level, I need to do this. No. You're screwed.
And that's also the reason we decide to do an IFA 3D standard, because you have a maximum distance for a different group, but there's no minimum distance. So in order to trick the archer even more, you can put a group 1 at 25 yards if you want.
Right.
So the people will recognize the group 1, but then that's having short. And
Keep them on their toes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I imagine if you go there regularly, that you'd be a damn good archer in no time at all. But there's the one out in Galty now I like, because there's a few. I always find when I get to the long ones, and I get the long ones, I'm like, yay. And then I have to come up to like a 10 or 15, and I can't hit it for love nor money. I'm like, what the hell is that about? So it is, I was talking to, is it Mick Siri? Down in Dunbrody that time.
Yeah.
And he was telling me a funny story about an archer he was speaking with when he started. I don't think he was long into it, and he goes, don't worry about it, it's only for the first 20 years. That is impossible. And he goes, what? 20 years? So but it's some weird addiction to have, to get a hold of you. I'm very happy with it. So you're not French. Did you cook those goodies that we had last Sunday? Did you make them?
I did.
The cake and those little coconut biscuity things?
Yeah, it was actually, I did the carbonara. If you want to do the carbonara proper way, you only use egg yolk.
Right.
So what to do with the whites?
Right.
And the white, you just...
Cookies.
Yeah, you just whisk them to make a snow. You add some sugar and then coconut, and that makes macaron.
Really?
Yes, that's simple.
I should write that down for Lucy. Yeah. She does a lot of these Czech dishes, because she's from Czech. Oh my God, I've eaten my fingers and everything afterwards. They're delicious. I love food, especially the homemade stuff. It's just super.
Yeah.
But those coconut biscuits,
Yeah.
because I'd be joking, saying we're going to get fat. Because every shoot we go to lately, there's someone with home baked stuff, and it's always fucking lovely.
Yeah.
Well, except for Galty, we don't do food there, I don't think. Or do we? We probably do. I'll get into trouble now for that, because I should know. They know by now that I'm an airhead. Today I know stuff, tomorrow I don't. But there's one. Before I'll do this. I don't have a straight line in any conversation. I branch off, and I come back hopefully at some stage, and you're confused. What the fuck is he talking about? And I'll refer to you for earlier on in the conversation. But there's a target in. Did you shoot the Galty recently? When was the last time you shot Galty?
Can't remember. That was in winter. I think
it's always winter, buddy.
No, because last year in August you had a shoot and it was fantastic.
Was I there in August? I know I did my first My first competition, full stop, was with Galti this year because I only had
It was February or something. February or March.
maybe.
So yeah, that was my first. I went to February and then I haven't
When was
been.
the leash thing? It was a few weeks before the leash double day competition.
Yes, that was the bank holiday in May. So that was in April probably.
Probably, yeah.
Probably April or I say March or April.
Yeah, that's when I started doing my thing. But there's one target anyway. The whole point of this is where it's down this really steep hill, and I think it's a wolf at the end of it.
Yeah.
And for love no money, can I get that goddamn wolf? But the last night I was thinking, I got as close as I've gotten so far. Even because we'll go there the odd Tuesday evening for a practice instead of going to the club, and because the weather's there, why not? It's awesome. So I'm in my head like that's the one guy I need to get, and then what happens with me is when I eventually get him, I won't be able to get any other target in the whole fucking wood. But yeah, it's nice to have those little things in your head. You be coming away thinking, you could have had a great hour or two there, but it's just that one little negative, tiny, insignificant nearly. And it's the loudest one in your head on the way home. Yeah, I gotta get that fucking target. Grinding your teeth in your sleep, dreaming about it. But yeah, I just wondered, did you come across that target?
Yeah. And it's funny because on that shoot, there were some, I'm not say difficult, but there were some kind of not that difficult one. But I missed.
It's kind of...
And I finished with that little mink between two trees.
Oh, yeah.
Like, yeah, this shoot is made for compound bow.
Yes.
But I was able to hit it. And I found that how can I hit that one and not the big leopard that is just right in front of me? And
but that's archery, isn't it? It's a funny
know,
thing.
I
But
know.
I always find the more trees that are in my way, the more exciting it is to give this a go. I call
because
them
you focus on the target only.
it's tunnel vision kind of comes in. I call them the Kevin Costner shots because, from Prince of Thieves, the movie, he had a lot of shots like that in the movie. But no, I got that first time I aimed for that guy, I got it, and I haven't got it since. It's just been, what happened? I got it perfect the first time. I was even joking, watch me get this, and I got it, and I was surprised I got it. Because like you said, you're just thinking, will I bust the arrow off the trees here? And my line was super, I got it pretty good. But after that, nada. Just crash, bang, wallop. Fuck. So, your photography interest,
Yeah.
how long has that been going on?
Or since my father introduced me to Super 8 camera.
Super 8 camera?
Super 8, yeah.
Is that the box camera thingy?
No, bollocks. Bollocks.
Bollocks?
Bollocks.
Bollocks to that,
bollocks. Bollocks used to be camera, like video camera.
All right.
Brand in Switzerland.
Gotcha.
And
Switzerland cameras. You didn't do the cameras for the moon, did you?
for that,
Switzerland.
I can't remember, but I think there might be some Swiss engineering equipment in it.
Yeah. Alleged. Right. Let's get it right.
Yeah. No. The Super 8 used to be like 8 millimeters video film.
All right.
Before it moved to 16 millimeters, and after that 35. But Super 8, it was just it's like proper film. You have to develop it. And it's just there is no sound. It's just it's just
moving
video
pictures. Yeah.
Yeah,
Charlie Chaplin job.
kind of. Yeah.
And do you have a dark room at home?
No. Well, I have a charging bag.
Oh.
I live in a small studio in Cork City Centre, so I don't have the room for a proper dark room. So I have a charging bag. So I develop my film, but I scan it to computer. I don't have an enlarger for printing.
All right.
So all the negative are scanned on the computer, but that's it at the moment. I don't have an enlarger. So that's one of the things I will have. I'm considering moving to somewhere else where I have more space.
Yeah, like a shed or something.
Like a shed, exactly. We're gonna have a dark room,
This
proper
would be
dark
perfect
room.
for you, something like this.
Yeah, well, that's that this container is even bigger than my living room, you know. So
This container was meant to be bigger again, but I just didn't know what I was doing. Of course, I was just like, hit, take this, I need this. I was adamant. I was just in a hurry to get things done because I felt like I was running late, if you will. But I'm a bit lazy as well, so sometimes I'm like, sure, I get it when I get it. But then Sebastian needed a bedroom because he was growing up, so I was getting kicked out, so I had to get one. But luckily, it's kind of, it does the job, you know.
yeah.
You can get very comfortable in here. It's grand. Happy days. But there's a few. If I was to do it again, I'd be doing it very differently. Definitely
Will
get a bigger container.
Oh.
And I definitely. But I say I'm going to wait because we're going to be moving down the road.
Will you?
Yeah, just about 5. You go to the gate, you go down there, like not even fucking 5 minutes. Walking it's in 5 minutes. We're going to be building a house there in the coming years, hopefully, if everything goes accordingly. And when that happens, I'm going to put in a base for this guy. But I'm gonna build where the doors open. I'm gonna build like a I suppose like an extension, if you will, onto this guy. And then that'd be the main area for this to be more like storage at that stage. But we'll see. That's the plan anyway. I'd throw a roof on it properly, and nearly hide the container. Have stonework all around it or something like that. Put a what's it out here? Like a veranda thing, because the view down there is amazing. It feels just running away, nothing in the way, and in the distance, then you got these big blue hills. It's beautiful, lovely in the summer. Oh yeah, it's fucking beautiful down there. So it's in the works at the moment, getting the engineer sorting shit out. So it's like, hope this works out. You just gotta keep pushing, keep plugging away. But I was looking at some. So when it comes to the photography and the cameras, how many cameras do you have?
Just a few.
A few, huh?
Yeah, because every time if there's a camera that I'm not gonna use it, I will sell it to someone who I know is gonna. I'm not keeping.
Like books.
Yeah, like the books. Yeah, a camera, I will resell it.
Right.
So at the moment, I only have for film. I only have the Mamiya T3 and Diana F plus.
Diana F plus. Never heard of any of these things.
Diana used to be in the 60 plastic toy and it's a medium format, so 120. But it's like a plastic toy for kids,
All right.
Like they discover photography.
Yeah.
And you only shoot at 160s per second, and you have the settings is either sunny, cloudy, or the B. Like the remote.
Yeah.
That's
automatic.
it. That's the only settings, and they basically you don't know what the result's gonna be, but it's now there's this people called lomography. They rebought all the patents of all these 60s, 70s, or even 40s camera in order to remake them like proper with modern material, and it's in Austria, in Vienna now. You can buy them, and all the kind of hipster kind of community, they find it great, the Diana F plus, because it's so random. You have no idea what's gonna happen, and it's just.
I thought that would be the whole opposite of photographers' wishes. That they'd be like, I've fucking tuned this camera for this particular result.
Yeah, but that's the rule of lomography. If you ever heard of a camera called Lomo.
No.
From East Germany, and that was East Germany and Russia. It used to work without batteries, but now the new one you just need a battery. But it's just a small settings, very simple to use. It can hold in your hand, and it's very, very easy to use. And the Lomo now it's a bit like a good trend, and they make all these old camera, like so the Diana, the Bel Air, and all these kind of very fashionery kind of
accessories
hipster,
and stuff.
Yeah,
It's
So
kind of
it's,
like vinyl in a weird way. Vinyl
kind
is
of.
back in fashion. I mean, I only
Yeah.
got a cool vinyl record last week of it's a double album. I love this fucking album, but I was worried because I got a few previous to that, and it's like, you know, when they record for CD in the studio, whatever they're doing, it's that same sound on the fucking vinyl, which is counter what you're expecting. I was like, that doesn't sound even close to fucking vinyl.
Yeah.
But this one has that vinyl sound as it was recorded on tape, which is probably what went to vinyl. But when you record digital and then throw it on vinyl, that's just acting the maggot.
Yeah.
That's just some money making scheme. But when you record on tape and it goes like it should be, and then because tape picks up everything,
Exactly.
and that's what I want. I like those little things you don't count on, those little hisses, and you know, he spat on the mic when he was singing, or there was a little bit of feedback here, or you could hear the room. Do you know what I mean? I love all those little, because you listen every time you listen to the song, you're like, oh, you're picking up something new nearly, and then you've all
The man who sneezed in the concert.
yeah, you've all the information in on the big fucking vinyl leaves, and you have posters, and you have the lyrics.
They were art.
Yeah,
They were a piece of
absolutely.
art.
Even the photos on it are art. Do you know what I mean?
The covers are
Unbelievable. So it's like when you see something like that, it's worth. You can see your money. It's got value. It's worth it, and the sound is great. The image, the package, it's fucking brilliant.
and you own it.
Yes,
You own
it.
You can give it to your offer to your son, to your
Yeah,
daughter.
exactly.
If you buy songs from Spotify or Deezer,
Spotify is a great convenience for when you're, I don't know, out and about.
yeah,
You know, it's, oh, I love this song, and you bang on your playlist or whatever. But when you're at home in your place or at a friend's place, I mean, I got a beat up, fucked up kind of record player here, but that'll be replaced in time, because I want one where the vinyl actually sits on the plate fully, because it wouldn't sit on it, because it will warp in time if it's on those. This is like, I don't know, just fucking around really. But if I get a proper one, the turntable where the record fits completely on the turn, it's not going to warp in time, whereas with this one it would warp in time. So it'd be seldom now that I'd listen to anything on that. That's why it's here. It's here as a little, this is the graveyard of what used to be a nice thing to have, or a cool thing to have. There it goes. I need to fill up the room with stuff. But no, right. So it's like that with everything seems to be going retro.
yeah,
Do you find?
yeah.
Because it worked then. It was worth it then. The shit they have now is shit. You know, it's like someone has all these ideas because of the excitement of a new technology, and instead of like going through a process of, is it a good idea, they just fucking bamboozle the population with, we've CDs for you now, vinyl's gone. Like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever fucking heard in my life. And vinyl is statistically always outselling all the digital shit. You know, it's like outselling everything, and it's usually bands from like maybe the 80s back, the odd 90s one maybe, that are outselling everything. Isn't that crazy? But it's not surprising, because they used the whole fucking range of music, and it wasn't so PC. You'd all the, let's say, the mad geniuses in all their glory, with all the good and the bad. And that's what you want. You don't want this fucking pristine, pretty, perfect product. Fuck off with that shit, because no one can relate to that. But so many people can relate to the guy and the girl struggling with addictions and everyday life, and you know, just fucking reality, and put it on a fucking song or on a canvas and just say, this is what I think. What do you think? Do you feel the same way? And they're like, I fucking do. You're right, John. And off they go, you know. Whereas this bullshit that they're holding up today, the Simon Cowell world, the only thing I'd watch in that is the start, where you get the really fucking, the people who shouldn't be anywhere near a microphone singing like they're Elvis. And it's kind of comical. there's a comical aspect. I'm not being like, looking at it like I'm a bully, but I'm thinking, yeah, I've been that soldier with the hairbrush. You think you're on stage. Hello, Dublin. But there is everything is going back to retro, and I like it. But this camera you're talking about makes no sense to me when it's like, let's see what happens with a camera. Because when I was doing photography, I did like 2 courses in the black and white photography thing. And the first couple of months, I think, in the first year doing it, my brain was fried. I had to get a notebook. Because when I was setting settings and shit for particular things, I didn't. Sometimes I liked a blur in a picture where you can make out the picture, but it's clearly vibrating nearly. And I would always associate energy to this physical thing. This is be it a landscape or a skyscape or boats in Cork Harbour, all the usual stuff. I just love that there's an energy pulsing in the image that you can identify with. But some people say, too bad it's blurry. And I'm like, no, it's perfect. Because then I'd go and I'd sketch it, and then I'd do a painting of it, and then I could write something about it. So it would be just multifaceted, you know what I mean? And that's how it should be.
Exactly.
You can have the perfect, pristine, tuned in image as part of a collage of the same visit to the same image, but in a different mood. So it's like not a mood board or anything, but it's kind of like it's like you meet a person for the first time, and everyone has their polite mask on, and like, oh, pleased to meet you, blah 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 blah. But then whatever happens, something happens. You got to live with them for a while, maybe you're gonna work with them for a while, and then you see a range of masks, but the real person is just a door open to all these other emotions that they'll experience and how they react to those and then you're like, oh, you're so different, I thought you were nice. Shut the fuck up. They are nice, but they're being open, and it's like all those different, like, people are different, but at the same time they're the same. Do you know that they have that one thing?
Yeah, but that's also a misconception, because there was this French photographer, Henri Cartier-Bresson. He created he was part of the Magnum photo group,
Right.
and because the way he took photos about that instant moment, people think that we should copycat this to have that photo. But if you know the man, if you know how he works, for that particular photo, for example, the one in Sicily when you have the cat and you have the kids playing, and you say that it took probably 30 photos that he has to throw to the bin until he had the perfect one. People don't think about that. And I went to a masterclass photography in Paris in 2015, and that's the things they taught us about, to make a story out of photo, like 12 or 10 images. You can have a blurry picture in that storytelling if it fits your story.
Photographing the guy leaving the pub.
Because your story is not about one particular image, it's about a collection of 12 images. If you ever heard of that photographer, a Swiss photographer, Robert Frank, he went to the United States. He wrote a famous book called The Americans.
When did this happen?
In 60s, I think 40s, 50s. Robert
Frank.
Frank.
I'm thinking of now.
Robert Frank was a really famous photographer, and
I'm gonna write his name down so I can research him later.
He traveled the United States with a Leica camera. He took 8,000 pictures. 80 of them end up in the book. So 8,000 pictures. And
how does he get? That must be some headache getting it down to 80.
That's
unless you're real fucking.
That's the part of that masterclass, is the editing process. Is the most important, because even you have as you said, you have the most pristine pictures. Everything is sharp, and but then that picture doesn't fit into your story, so you have to throw it away. This is the most difficult part.
Yeah.
And this is about photography, but I'm pretty sure if I meet a rock band or any musician,
It's applicable
and
across
you
the board.
have to choose between 12 tunes
Yeah,
to an album, and they have to throw the 13th one. They probably say the same because they put their heart, they put their whole, the whole, you know.
When you lose sight of the project, I suppose you could say, because the project requires discipline, but then the craft it does equally require discipline, because you can lose the run of yourself, and the passion will just fucking say they're all great, and the viewer's like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? What's he on about? There's no. He's lost the plan. He's lost the structure. He's lost the discipline, and that's. I mean, that can. There's one artist, I don't know if you ever heard of him. He's from Gibraltar, Christian Hook. The guy, I love his work. He's a brilliant painter. He does a lot of. He's just brilliant at everything he puts on the canvas, and he's very. He's always looking for something different, but his paintings are they always maintain that mark that is Christian Hook painting, and he got one canvas. I think he did it for a year or something, and he just painted a couple of times a day, every day, for like this year, maybe a couple of years, on this one canvas. So he's doing this. So it doesn't matter how brilliant the painting is that he painted yesterday. Today he knows I have to paint over that. And he said, this is a way of me learning to not get precious about the painting. Because if you get precious about the work, you're creating this in your subconscious that it was lucky. You got lucky when it's not lucky. He said, you just fucking did it and you did great, so well done. So now instead of getting precious about it, you say, right, throw it out, paint over it.
Yeah.
And you just keep doing that until you're fully convinced in your mind, well, now I know if it's shit. I know straight away it's shit. And unlike me, I waited 6 months before I said, I'll paint over it then. 6 months of work gone out the window, where you could have been doing other things. But I'm very Yoda shit on that. I gotta really go through the universe and think about that. And then you could be thinking for like 5 years, and then you could be complete opposite for the next 5 years, where you're impulsive and you're just on fire because you've already spent 5 years dismissing and toiling over the thoughts, the creative process and all of this, and you're schooled in on every possible inevitable reaction from you to this. So now you can just go hell for leather and create an unbelievable amount of stuff in quick time, and it's all perfectly in the plan. So what you say this guy's name was? Robert
Frank.
And
The Americans. That's
the book, is it?
The book, yeah.
The Americans. There's a lot of painters. I used to watch these cool documentaries. That's one thing about YouTube. You can get some brilliant documentaries there. And it was about these artists that would go around America, just as, still when people are getting scalped kind of thing. And they're doing paintings of like the Grand Canyon landscapes. And they really, because it was such a wild and wide open landscape. Some of the paintings that this one guy painted, man, were fucking unbelievably brilliant. It was like something out of a movie, like going back in time to the dinosaurs and shit. Beautiful paintings. So The Americans, book of photography. I'm going to get this book and I'm going to read it and I'm going to let you know what I think of it. You can believe that. Because I'm always looking I used to read all these books. Do you read books?
I do read books. And
what kind of books do you read?
Well, I love also the photo books, which is hard to find in Ireland.
Did you get the 101 best photo books? Or we've a book inside our church in a while. It's
no, but I love, like in Paris, for example, you have bookstore that are dedicated to photography.
All right.
So your man Robert Frank, you can find, as I mentioned before, Henri Cartier-Bresson, Vivienne Mayer.
The names just roll right off your tongue, not a bother to you. I'd be choking on those names. How many languages can you speak?
Vivienne Mayer? You never heard
Vivienne
Mayer from New York. She used to do street photography.
I used to know a lot, but dude, the last 10
Vivian.
years, empty, delete.
Oh, right, okay. Well, you should.
That's why I'm having people in like
should
you,
have
so
a
you can
look,
educate me.
Vivian Meyer, MEI.
Did she live in that fucking skyscraper
Yeah,
thing?
I think so.
Because I watched
And she got. I think she was a nurse or she worked for elderly, but she took photo as a hobby.
Yes.
And one day, they found the box in a flea
I know
market.
this woman.
Yeah, and they found the box of photo in a flea market, and they decide to publish it. And she's gone famous, like post-mortem, like Van Gogh or Monet. Or
Like
all
most
this,
of them. There's a guy who has a show on, or a channel on YouTube called Perspective. You should check him out, man. Because that's how I know about her. And he was going on about the architecture of the building she lived in.
Oh, wow.
And he spoke glowingly of her. Now, I hope it's the right woman, but it sounds very familiar. New York City?
Yeah.
Vivian
Meyer, Meier. Meyer.
See, this is great. I mean, like, when Marston was in, he's telling me about lenses and shit, and I'm like, really? So it's like, make a note, and then I can do all the research in the week and read up on stuff. So it's like, photography book, New York lady.
Yeah, like once a year in Paris, you have this exhibition or this big, the whole city festival called Paris Photo.
Okay.
It's you have all the big brand and big gallery. They are together in the Grand Palais, which is like for really rich. Like you buy the big pictures, but every small little galleries in Paris, small little photo shop, small little bookshop, will have a different section of different photo books, and this is how you discover some artists that you never heard, and some new artists they gather together on one of the boat on the Seine River, and you go there, you watch their work, the book, and you can have a signature directly and talk with the this is how I discover some
this kind of makes you a fan for life, I feel. When you meet like that, when you meet people, it's there's, I don't know, there's it's like you're invited into that world, you know, just by your very curiosity.
This
They're
is
like,
how
welcome.
He's on that boat that I met this English he died like a few years ago, Chris Hemslip, I think was his name.
This name rings a bell for some reason.
And yeah, he was a journalist, photographer,
right.
And he has a book called Infante about when he traveled to South America and stuff. And
all right.
it's and just you talk to that person who went to Nicaragua and
because when you meet people,
or Belize, when Belize used to be a British colony, So
what I like is when I've only met maybe one or two people, but again, branded. But I imagine when you do meet them, because they can talk to you in a fashion, they'll shatter your preconceived idea, and you get a gritty reality, and it kind of, for you anyway, I feel it knocks down all these imagined walls that you put up, the mountains you're going to have to climb to be in the same arena as these folks. But if you meet them, if you meet the nice ones, that's it. That's all horseshit. It's all in your head. Yeah. All you need to do is keep on doing what you're doing. Yeah. And you'll get where you need to get. You know, it's not about emulating them, or they're there to inspire you. You don't cross paths by accident. No. Everything there's nothing like coincidence. That's horseshit. Yeah. You pass them. Something pulls on you for a reason. Yeah. And it's you listen to you, and you'll be fine. I mean, you created yourself in a weird kind of way. So just listen to yourself and just re-educate yourself on that. And if you're just drawn to something, just fucking follow it. That's all you gotta do, and shit happens, and it's amazing. So I imagine when you meet them, it's usually they'd give out to me like, you know, what are you doing here? Why aren't you painting? And I'm I don't know. I'm here to see paintings. But Yeah, you kind because you figure out your own process. I mean, you got to factor in life. Things happen that you don't plan, and you know you arrive where you arrive, and you have to look around and say, "Am I a responsible individual for?" And you choose to be. So then you got to rejig your timetable and just get as much done as you can in your time, and not stress about it. Just fucking try and enjoy it. And the more you do, the fuller your thoughts will be. You know, you get much more out of everything, out of your everyday. So it's like I'll get these and I'll reconnect with the photography world that I briefly entered a long time ago.
But I do own these 2 books, and I can bring them to Goldie next weekend if you...
You can also do this. This would work for me too. Because I used to be just reading books just for the love of the literature. Yeah. It's not even... I mean, all right, there's all the classics you would have read in school as a kid, but then you'd have got the movies, then documentaries about the whole process of that, and it's like just this constant curiosity bringing you along. You're like, wow, woo, gee. And it's amazing. But then you try to talk to people and they're looking at you like you're fucking retarded.
Exactly.
It's like, what the fuck? And then they'll start talking to you about something that means nothing to you. So that should tell you you're needing to find people who are more open to what you're open to. You know what I mean? Because you can accommodate the people who talk about shit you've no interest in. You can say, oh, that's lovely. Tell me more. I don't really care. But when you meet people then that share that, did you see the thing, the exhibition, or did you hear that new song, and did you get that album? Did you see the photography thing? And you know, you can just come alive with the conversation and that. But you know, it's finding those people, because I've met a few now. Like before we moved out here a long time ago, when we still had a social life, I'd have met some now who'd have been artists or photographers, and I get talking to them, and I just a million questions fired, and they're like, when they start telling you where they're coming from, you're like, you're full of shit. You're just a fucking poser, and it's very hard. It's disappointing as fuck because it's so hard to find someone you can just shoot the shit with about painting, about even beating up the guitar there or trying to write a song.
Or even photography.
For everything.
I don't do photography. I'm like, at work, we were trying to do a little photo club.
All right.
But they were all exciting about sunset photos or the reflection on the rain, which I hate those photos.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
I'm more in a kind of blurry kind of things. When you only see a hand of a guy holding a pint, but that's the only thing, and it's blurred and just like completely out of. It's not even like focus or even like.
See, you have a creative element
kind
coming
of things,
into it,
and
like.
then you have to explain to the people who praise the reflection on the puddle the sunset.
Hotel painting.
And you have to explain what you were trying to do, and then you found that there's 2 different worlds.
You should never explain it.
No, exactly.
I find if you
that's
explain,
why it's hard.
Because what you're doing there with that image you've just described is a fucking cool thing, and it's like if I was to explain anything in here to anyone, I've lost straight away. And it's not about win or lose. That's probably the wrong way to say it. The right way to say it is you gotta let them be responsible for themselves to fucking get something out of the painting or the image, because everyone is awake enough to know on a visual capacity they'll get a reaction. Because there's no fucking talking. That's why it's a visual thing. Yeah, you're not meant to be talking.
Exactly.
You know, so just look at it.
It's like a joke. If you have to explain it,
it's not funny.
Exactly.
So if you fucking just look at it, you will have, if you're fucking going to just listen to yourself, you will have a reaction, good, bad, or otherwise. You know, you're getting a reaction. And just, I suppose we're all so fucking hooked now on technology because it's so new and shiny still. People are kind of just say, oh, art is dead. Art is not dead, you retard. No. You fucking shut the fuck up. Art is never dead. As long as there's people, there's fucking art. End of story. Exactly. Because the soul needs feeding, and you feed the soul by looking and by creating. Because you're getting it out, and you're putting it out into the world, and you're taking it in from somewhere else because, wow, that's awesome, and you love looking at it for whatever reason. sometimes I look at my own paintings and I'm like, because when I finish them, I'll hang them up in the house, and I'll be like, just because you go through different moods at different times of the day, different light, but all the while you're looking at a painting. Is that even fucking finished? And then you're, oh, it's so beautiful. You're like a schizo in the corner, like going through every emotion. But it's necessary for you to sign off on it.
Yeah.
Because then 5 years down the line, you could be looking at it maybe on on the computer, and you say, I fucking hate that painting. And it's the wrong. I keep saying it to my buddy. That painting was brilliant and true to then, 5 years ago, to
At
who
that
you were.
time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because who you are now is not who you were then.
Exactly.
Your skin sheds every 6 fucking months. So you think your mind doesn't shed? Get the fuck. Of course it does.
Of course.
You might get a new drug. A new kind of coffee, you know what I mean? So you're going to be completely new perception. You'll meet people and you'll talk to them and they'll be thinking, this guy is fucking cracked. But then they get talking to someone who's receptive to their passions. And then they're making the effort to fucking like hit back with, there's a two-way communication kicking on. And then it's like, yeah, this guy's okay. He's a good guy. And then, you're building your army of people who are just fucking here doing what they're here to do and accepting it. And all those little intricate things that aren't coincidences, that are like happenstance. I wonder why that is. I better go investigate that, or just be there, take it in. And then regurgitate an emotion in colour or in black and white. Now, black and white, I fucking love black and white. There was actually, back to this artist I was telling you about, Christian Hook. He was in, was he in college, I think, and they had like a journalist come in who did photography, and all his work was black and white. And Christian Hook I think he was saying something like, I assumed because it's going into a newspaper that it's best that it's black and white. Logical assumption to make, one would say. But the photographer came in, or whatever he is, I guess he's a photographer, he took the fucking photos. And he was saying that the nature of his work has such a weight about it, it's a serious thing. He felt that the black and white photography would help you focus more on that, what's important, as opposed to be distracted by the colours. Which kind of, I get, but at the same time, it's like, do you ever see those photos where the colour and everything is nearly black and white, but it's not black and white? And then there's a central character somewhere with a brilliant red jacket on, or maybe a red rose.
Yeah, like the Schindler's List.
Yes, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Perfect example. Exactly what I'm talking about. They're awesome. I love that shit. But it's like, it's how to use it, effectively. Because my buddy would be on about perspective and planning. I get all of that, but I'm looking for the one where it's like when you go with the bow into the woods, and it's like you look at your target and you know exactly how you're going to hit the target. I'm a million miles away from that. I know that for a fact, because when I started 2 weeks in, I'm thinking, fucking hell, man, I'm going to the Olympics in like 4 years from now. I'd be so in the Olympics. Now I'm like, you're going to no Olympics, kid. Maybe on the TV you can watch it. That's as close as you're going to get, because it's so fucking, you're just walking up to a universe of challenges and education that you've yet to educate yourself on. But the fact that you know it is the first step in the right direction. And it's like that with a painting. Every time I start a painting, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm going to do something. And that's as close to planning as whereas other people, they need to plan it. They need to do all the sketches. I used to do this because I thought, fuck it. I'm free falling. I'm learning. I'm teaching myself by looking at Caravaggio, Michelangelo, Monet, Van Gogh, and all of these guys. And but you're not talking with them, but you are looking at their stuff, and that kind of, you're making your own weird kind of reality out of it. So it's like you come to the conclusion. It takes time, is what I'm saying, basically. Like archery, like anything like that, it just takes time. So the only plan I have is be consistent. I plan on being consistent. I will consistently try. That's as good as I can get with plans. And then you kind of figure it out as you go along, you know what I mean? Sometimes you finish a painting and it's like there's something pulling you towards that painting every day you go painting it. But you can't put it in a box. You know, and your whole personality is slightly shifted in that whole process. You don't know what the fuck's going on, and the more you think about it, the further away it goes. But when you kind of when something says, right, you're finished. Am I? Then you'll sit down. I'll sit down. I might hang it there. I'll sit way over there. Get a packet of cigarettes, and I'll be just looking at it, and I'll be just looking at it, and maybe in the third or fourth day, I'm still looking at it, and then I hear like a name. That's the name of the painting. It's like someone giving you the aerial code for the phone number in the region where they're living. It goes, okay, so it's over here, so I'm closer. It's near the beach. So beach, seagulls, water, sharks, sun, lovely summer. So that's the vibe your emotions are going to be. But that's as close as you can get to anybody. I mean, you can't tell somebody, well, this is the name of the painting. This is the painting. 1 and 1 equals whatever. So go figure that shit out for yourself. It's not like a trick. It's not like a question. It's just like, you know, here you go. Here's a little present. And it's, you know, you have that thing where, especially with photography, because when I was doing photography, there was a lot of crazy people doing it down in Cork, and they were like, it's not art. I'm like, well, that's like saying a paintbrush isn't art. It's an instrument. It's the person using the instrument. Are they an artist or are they not? Now, I've met a lot of people who do photography. I don't know what a photographer's meant to say or describe. All I know is these people love gadgets, and they love the whole. They just it soothes their mad mind, and they just love the gadgets. And then when it comes to taking the photos, it's like they're looking for something completely different to what you would imagine you're trying to do. Well, coming from my background, which is I'm trying to get an image. Initially, you probably start looking for a photo finish painting, but then you realize that's not you. You're more internal, and you're trying to get something out, and instead of bring something in, you know. But these people are like it's really all about the toys, and the photography is just like a byproduct of having this toy that they love figuring out, because maybe they have a mathematical mind or something. But then you meet some people who have the camera, and it mightn't be as good as his camera or her camera, but it's a camera. And then they get the most amazing images from their fucking perception. And therein lies the difference. The instrument doesn't define the product, the end product.
It's just a tool. And that's the things, like I met some photographer who bought the best Hasselblad camera to make pristine pictures. But if you don't know how to take pictures, then you can have the Hasselblad, but if you still don't know how to take pictures, your photo will still look like shit. And there was a French photographer who went to Vietnam called Raymond Depardon. And
I won't even fucking try it.
he shoot.
When you say Vietnam, like the war, or
when the French were at war in the Indochina during the 50s, end of 50s, the beginning of 60s, because just after the French retired and the US took over. So Raymond Depardon, he shot photo with that, not the Diana F Plus from Lomo, but it's also a plastic camera called Holga, Holga, Holga. With this book that he shot with the Holga, it tells you that it's the eye of the photographer. It's the photographer. It doesn't matter if you use a Holga or the best Hasselblad. As long as you have the eye and you know how to use the tool you have at hand. Of course, if he has Hasselblad, maybe he will have taken even better picture. But you use the tool that you have at hand and you try to make the best of it. And that's...
Other people will put a value on it then. That's none of your business afterwards. Your business is done. You've captured your thing. Like you look at Jackson Pollock. love him or hate him, he'd go to the hardware store and he'd get acrylic paints for painting your fucking walls inside and your doors and shit. And that's why he used to do his paintings, because it just had the proper density. And he would go...
Oh, even the people who paint with
the spray cans,
spray can, yeah.
You know, so it's not the instruments that you're using.
Yeah.
It's you.
Yeah, it's you yourself.
You know, yeah, exactly.
What story do you want to tell?
Yes.
What tool do you want to use? And
100%.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, a lot of my stuff is tickled off into the world of mythology and symbolism, kind of. And it's like, it's very, very vast. And it's very fucking, you know, you can imagine now, especially through the movie industry, that things have been bastardized for like a while now. So it's like, you know, the horses and the women thing, you're looking, there's very strong Celtic symbols in both, you know, and then the crow or the blackbird. So those are the kind of things where I like to go around in circles and go fucking crazy. And then things in between pop up, you know. But everything I've done just to arrive at that had nothing to do with that, in a sense. These are all other... It's like, you know, people say, if you put this and that part, and building a picture, basically. And sometimes it's like, you hear these people like, bend the rules, break the rules. I'm like, fuck the rules. I don't even want to know about the rules. Don't educate me on the rules. Because then it's like, it's gone through a filter. Even if you're breaking the rules, you've still gone through a filter. So you're doing nothing fucking new. Whereas if you're coming, even forget the rules, you don't even educate yourself on the rules, and you just come at it as I don't know, someone with eyes, and you're just looking at the world and all the things that happen in your people world and in your landscape world, your dream world, and you're interpreting that and putting it on a canvas. People will never... They'll just never get what you're trying to... Even if you explain it in perfect fucking English, and they speak perfect English, they'll know the words. They know what they mean going out there together. But they're still missing something in the middle. And it's... that's the beauty for me about it all. There's still a bit of room for a bit of fire to kick off, you know? And it's not about getting... It's not a quiz, is what I like to put it. It's just... This is such a uniquely individual thing, and you just go on Facebook now or any internet facility, and you see the same thing rehashed a million fucking times, and it's like it's kind of like what Simon Cowell did to music. What the fucking internet is doing for art and photography is like, this is art, this is what you have to do to be, and you look at this fucking piece of shit that they're handing out. Oh, fuck right off, people. That's why it's a good thing and a bad thing. And again, it's just another instrument that you use as opposed to abuse. Because you're abusing your own brain by fucking using it too much. You know, you got to have a plan. I need X, Y, and Z. I go to the internet and I get X, Y, and Z. I don't go down try not to go down these rabbit holes. But yeah, it's a fucking headache. But
that's, you see, like for photography, for example... It's my grandfather taught me photography, but the real Ansel Adams kind of way. Like 90% of your photo is done before you press the shutter. Yes. So you have to know your ISO, you have to know your shutter speed and all the stuff. You have the light meters. Yes. Now is a phone like this. I don't need a tripod to shoot in low light. I can go to a pub tonight. And I will be able to shoot pristine because it will take different pictures and stuff, and then you have.
But the history that went before this phone allows the phone to be this phone.
Yeah. But the thing is, most people will forget about the basic of ISO, about shutter speed and stuff.
I hate all those things because it's like fucking hate hurts. What the fuck? Automatic.
Yeah, exactly.
Idiot. And here I'm trying to put all this shit together, and I've no, foundation.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that's how I roll, baby. That's how I roll.
Yeah.
But I was going to ask you about the phone thing, regarding photography. Now, everyone with a phone a photographer?
If I what?
If everyone has a phone, are they now automatically a photographer?
Not really, no.
Not at all, I'd say.
No,
They're a
that-
fucking
that-
hindrance. That's they are.
was people were. I mean, most of the big photo like VU or Magnum photo and all the stuff, they were scared about this iPhone 14 when it came out last year. Say everyone can take beautiful picture, but
No, they can't.
no, they can't.
It
As I say,
facilitates the
if
mind.
you don't know how to take pictures,
Yeah.
it's the eye of the photographer.
But
it's not the
100%, it's always back down to the individual perception of
exactly
where they're at. And how,
what
they
story
wanna
you
capture.
want to tell
Yeah.
with your picture.
But it is amazing what you can fucking do with a phone.
I know.
It's it blows my mind
It's-
every day.
Absolutely. And it's funny, like when I go with this big Mamiya,
Show me that bad boy.
people told me, why do you use a film camera where you can do everything on your phone or this?
Well, it's like, why listen to vinyl when you have a CD or a digital thing on your phone? Because vinyl's better. That's why. Enough.
Exactly, like it's the same as Deezer between vinyl or Spotify. Or,
Yeah. Everything has its place.
yeah,
You know, you're in the middle of this spin in a washing machine,
yeah.
and you gotta wait for that to kind of set the
Yeah.
fuck
I
down.
mean, no, but
And
that's
everything has its place.
That's one of the reason I'm not into photography club because
Yeah.
there's-
Yeah, you're better to be a lone wolf.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this guy is called Mamiya C3. It's from Japan. It was produced between 1961 to 1964. At that time, it used to be called the Hasselblad of the poor. Because it was the time when, after the World War II, the Japanese were trying all over the world and taking pictures.
Yeah.
And then
They're still doing it.
but they were kind of stealing
Yeah.
with the technology, and this is how they come out with
This is their camera.
their camera with two lenses, one that so that you look through this, and the one for the film.
All right.
And
Yeah. This Marson has this, no? Something
I
similar?
think he has something similar, but not really the same. I think he has a C2 or 220 or.
Because I just look at that now and I'm like, fuck, that's... How do you use that?
And well, it's analog, so you have to do the settings. You need a light meter, which you can have an app on your phone. But you need a light meter, and then the light meter will tell you your shutter speed and your aperture. So you need to set that up before you take the photos.
Yeah.
So if you're into street photo, yeah, of course, it's not something you will go
Not
with,
ideal, yeah.
but it still does the job very well if you know how to use it.
So would it be more of a studio camera?
Kind of studio. You can do outdoor. You can even do street photo as long as you set up. And
Would it be more convenient in a studio setting, I would say?
yeah, but
'Cause I'd
also
be worried about it getting fucking
yeah, but
broken.
you know when you try to take street photo with an iPhone,
Yeah.
people are mad at it. People will look at you and they are scared that their image will appear
Yeah.
on Facebook. If you take photo with a big fellow like this one, people are more forgiven. They are more open. They look at the
Well,
camera.
immediately they don't see the connection.
Exactly. And
Even though they don't... of course they can go the same way.
and they are less reluctant to be taken with a big fellow like this than from an iPhone, to be
Well,
honest.
I think the reason for that is I see this camera now and straight away I'm thinking, as you're talking to me about it, that you really want to love your photography to actually have this in your possession, to own this camera. This is a photographer's camera.
Yeah.
This isn't a fucking Egypt's camera. This is a photographer, someone who fucking loves it, who can philosophize about it, converse about it, probably write fucking poems about it. But they love the photography.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I like the look of it. I mean, is it hard to buy one of these today?
Not really. You have to know the place. Well, if you go to Paris, for example, there's a boulevard close to Place de la Nation where there's only Photoshop there. Right. So if you really want to go to a second-hand medium format camera like this one, I will say go to Paris and spend a full
Did
week.
you see the news, buddy? I won't be going to Paris anytime soon.
Not now, not to Paris now, especially because it happened. The demonstration.
There's a bit of waiting, isn't
it's
there?
a wait, yeah. But on internet, you can find some good deals, but you don't see the camera.
I'd say you're better off going to the shop. In person.
Yeah. So you have Photoshop, a very good in Paris. But as I said, there's a whole street dedicated to photo. Otherwise, I will say go to Berlin, Munich, or Vienna, or
I'd say Berlin,
Milan as well.
Milan.
Where you can have like good second-hand shop, and if you buy a camera from a second-hand shop, it has been reviewed, and it will be certified for probably 6 months, and it's good, and
it looks cool. Straight out of the bag, it looks fucking cool.
Yeah.
It also looks, to me, who clearly I'm not a photographer, I just love dabbling in it. It looks fucking complicated. Yeah. And you definitely would want a dark room, I would imagine. I know you got your bag, but you probably would. Dark rooms are awesome.
I know they are, but you need
a
space for a larger.
Come to life, and then you can manipulate it.
I know.
It's awesome.
So yeah, I need to find myself.
Awesome.
I need to find myself an enlarger.
I'm surprised now down in Cork City that there isn't a facility for photography. Like, you can go in and rent the room for a few hours.
They used to be at the Camden Place, Camden Palace.
Right.
That was long ago, but the Camden Palace closed in 2016. I think so. Now that there is no proper dark room, I think.
What about school or something?
I think UCC might have a dark room, but it's only for student. I don't think, and I really don't.
If you were to go to, say, there's a place down there called St. John's. I know they got a huge revamp there years ago. And they had a great photography section in there.
Are they?
Yeah, and if you went in and spoke with them, they're very good. Well, they were back then anyway. They're very good people. If you went in and said, like, show them your nifty camera, and you speak to the photography teachers, I don't see why they wouldn't accommodate you. But you might have to, in turn, maybe come in and do a little talk for the class about. Because, I don't think you'd have a problem doing that, would you?
No, I have no.
Why don't you give it a go? Check it out.
St.
John's Central College, Cork.
I know
down Sawmill Street.
I know. I live 5 minutes from.
From it's cool. Cool. I keep meaning to go back in there. There was one or two teachers in there that I might have upset with all the time. Keep meaning to go back. Sorry about that. But too busy. But you should definitely. You're there. You're like you said. You're 5 minutes away. What can happen? They say no.
Yeah.
But they might say yes.
Yeah.
They might say yes, and if they say yes, fuck it, man. You could get an expansion on your production.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you could have but you have an exhibition of photos.
No.
Why not?
Well, you need to print them. That's what I say.
If you got in with St. John's, hello.
Yeah.
You could do it for a year, maybe, and then say, right, you found your feet, you have a routine, you know what's what. I think I'm going to do an exhibition, body of work. And then go off around and do whatever you do. I imagine you travel quite a bit, do you?
I do, yeah.
See, that's a lovely fucking luxury. Yeah. It is a luxury.
It is now, yeah.
We can't get out of a fucking house at a particular time in the middle of the day because the kids are just fucking, you know what I mean? Yeah, we'll definitely be there by 1. About 3 o'clock if you're lucky. We're just leaving. But, so even going to another country, fucking hell. But yeah, you should, I'd love to see you have an exhibition in the next 5 years. I think I'd definitely go. Check it out.
Thank you.
Be cool. Because there's 2 guys now from that I know who are into the photography. They kind of do what they do. But it's a circle that's getting smaller, I would say. But like everything else, nothing is forever. Everything is constantly changing. And everything keeps coming back around. So don't be too upset when shit you think is gone. Because it's not gone. It's just gone somewhere else. But it's coming back. But it's just fucking... As you grow older, and people kind of go through their experiences in life and find themselves, I suppose. people you might have known, a big gang of people now that are just dispersed all over the fucking terrain, and they're doing their thing. It's you'd be like nearly pining for like-minded individuals. You don't want a club, you don't want a group, but connection. It's just connections.
Yeah, it's just connection. Yeah.
Just say, check out what they might do, a blog or a podcast. Why don't you do podcasts for people into photography or something?
Yeah.
You get to meet loads of photographers, surely, that way. That'd be cool. I'll fucking subscribe straight away.
Yeah.
But it's like, when Owen and Marston were here, I'm like, I didn't know the two of them were involved in the magazine thing. I mean, it's their baby, like. Like, why the fuck aren't you doing? Because you're clearly smarter than I am, and you're more competent than I am. Why the fuck aren't you doing something? Because that's where it's at. It's in the hand, it's in the phone, it's easy access. Fucking YouTube the fuck out of it. And you've got a product that is illustrating an awesome way of life, a pastime, hobby, if you will. We won't call it sport because that'll upset the boys. But it's, they should be whipping that like a good thing. But I think Markson was saying that on the shoot they're having in September, which is cool, that they're going to have a launch of a podcast there, and they're going to have I must have them come back in and have a chat about that whole September thing, because I think that'd be awesome. I can't wait for that. I'm so going. I'm going to the first day anyway. Don't know about the second day, but definitely the first day. It should be fun. Give them a bit of support, Let's get those fucking magazines going as well. Do you want to take a coffee break?
Yes, we can.
Very good. I'm going to leave things running.
Okay.
Because I'd be afraid if I turn them off. Stitching that shit back together later is not good.
Yeah. PC for me is just like...
Apple is like a way of life. There's a philosophy. And I just disagree with it. In a lot of ways, it's like, fuck off. It's too... there's nearly an undercurrent of Marxism about it that I don't fucking like. It's just, that's the feel I get off it. And again, it's back to what I was saying earlier about most things. They fail to factor in the human condition. And it's a complicated beast. You know what I mean? So, shut the fuck up and just get on with shit, What'll make things easier for everybody? This. Okay, but at the same time, people need to be challenged regularly so they'll think for themselves. And that's important. You can't be dictating shit to people. Just give them, look, this is what we're thinking. What do you think? Think you're full of shit. Go back and think something new, or hear our ideas. So it's like I have a few issues with them, So your dad and your granddad were into the photography in a big way, were they?
They were, yeah. Amateur. They have.
Amateur. I hate that word.
Yeah, I hate that. But that was their hobby, and they both own a Kodak Retinet. That was famous for camera from, I would say, 40s, 50s.
All right.
And I think it was manufactured by Leica, but sold them on the Kodak name so they can sell it as a cheaper price.
All right.
But I think it was manufactured by Leica. So it was.
We had the Kodak one. You take the photo and the picture comes out, and you just gotta put that aside while it develops. They were pretty cool, man.
They were, yeah.
They were fun little things to play with, and you'd be thinking, how many photographers in children became like obsessed with photography over that that little gizmo of a fucking camera, because it was so immediate. And then you think, imagine what you can do with this. Your imagination would just go crazy.
Yeah.
So, we all, the father now would be, he's a carpenter by trade, but my God, anything gadget-wise, computer-wise, he always seemed to have it before anyone would have it, because he just had that curiosity. And of course, we're just like sponges around him then. Like, he had a pirate radio station from way back in the day. I can remember being in that radio station. It was crazy. It was just another world. All the vinyl. He had the cool, what I call a skull mic. It's like, the silver mic. It's like, that movie, Good Morning Vietnam. The microphone he had in that movie. It was this kind of microphone. So every time I went in there, I was like, your imagination just goes fucking crazy. Loves that kind of thing. So it's kind of no wonder that I've gravitated towards trying to do something like this because I'm too lazy to do a radio station, a pirate radio station or other. It's just this is just where we are now, and it's easy even if you're making the balls of it. As long as you keep going, because I mean when I was starting, you know, they'd be saying, "But you don't know what you're doing." I go, "Duh," but I know I want it, and that's all you need sometimes, because it's like when you paint something and you're not sure what you're painting, make a mess on the canvas and then know what to correct. Because until you see it, you mightn't realize what needs changing, and then you're figuring shit out as you go. So you'd be thinking, by the time I start here, by the time I get to say 100, we should know some shit by then. You know what I mean? And then you know people who know everything might start at number 1, and they might be nearly intimidated by the actual process of engaging in the act and doing it. They might just feel like too intimidated to continue. They might get 2 or 3 in and say, "Oh fuck it, I'm not doing that anymore. Why am I doing it?" And whereas I'm like, I'm too busy trying to figure shit out to think about things. So it's like a snowball effect. So by the time I get to 100, I should have a lot of answers. And hopefully it'll still be fun, because it is fun. And like I said, it's fucking gross. But when you get going to the competitions in the archery has been great, because you get to meet so many people, and they're all lovely, and they're good to talk. And I mean, just like the way it's happened here now with us and with Marson and with, what's his fucking name again? I'm sorry, I forget his name. But anyway, it can come in and start about archery, but because they're people, they've other interests. You can branch off into so many different things, and there you have a wonderful conversation, you know. And then you take notes of stuff, and then you go away richer for it. And I think it's pretty cool.
It is, yeah.
So it's like, why wouldn't you want this in your life? You know what I mean? Especially when everyone is so fucking obsessed with the phone. Put the phone down for an hour and just shut the fuck up and listen. That's one thing. That was the first thing I found when I was reviewing my initial art studio things. That's what it was called, because of lazy thinking. I would be looking at them to see, like, was the picture okay? Is this the art? The sound is kind of shit, but I know I'm working on that, so I'm not going to panic about that. I'll just keep doing it. But you see, like, you gotta shut the fuck up, because you're talking too much and you're not letting the person who's sitting across from you talk. So that was a weird thing to learn about yourself, you know what I mean? Things you wouldn't realize till you look back and reflect, and you're analyzing everything, and it's like, okay, you're taking notes in your head, and it's good. I like it. I encourage everyone to fucking do it. It's like everyone should be doing it. You can do it in your goddamn bedroom. Exactly. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. If you have a phone, you're a TV production company and a radio station. All you need is a little imagination, and you know, it's especially if you have things that you fucking love talking about. You know, it's there's people out there who are you maybe 10 years ago, who just don't know where to fucking start or whatever, and you, by just Forrest Gumping your way through things in conversation, might trigger something in the viewer, and they might say, "Yeah, that's what I'll try that," and off they go. And who knows where that could go, you know what I mean? So it's good. So I'm always looking for something new now, because I'm like a fisherman of a sort of the internet seas when it comes to interviews, podcasts. It doesn't matter what format it's in. So you've YouTube and Spotify, you're just going through all of them, put in a subject. For the most part, you can tell straight away that there's a lot of them there that are very, they've researched the hell out of whatever they're doing, the topic they want to talk about, but they're coming at it maybe in a historical aspect, and it's like, it's stale or something. There's no, because I know for a fact when you go through some, you're like, what the hell? What's he going to say next, or what's she going to say next, or whatever. And they're the ones I like. The ones that make you laugh out loud when you don't expect to laugh out loud. And you might be laughing at a joke either. You might be laughing at how bad they are. You might think, oh man, I can relate to that. But so it's I implore everybody to do it, and I don't know why you're not doing it, especially with your photography. You're a fountain of knowledge. You got to understand that too. You know what I mean? You could be you could sit down at a table in your kitchen with this guy in front of you, have your phone at the end of the table, and you could explain this in all its like what it is, what it does, where it was made, where you can get it, and why you have it, and why you want to have it, and why you love it. And before you know it, 3 hours in, like fuck. And then you put that information up, and some aspiring photographer will be like, what is that? And then they hear you talking about it with such glowing reverence, and they'll say, I gotta get me one of them. Where can I get one of them? They'll watch your video again, and they'll be getting all the information, and you're helping somebody there. You know what I mean? Because some people can get too technical, and you can get swamped and bored to death by the technicality, because their voice, it nearly gets restricted by the technicality, and it becomes this hum, this boring, and you're not going back there ever again, because that's a sleeping tablet. Whereas if you get someone who's like, oh, and guess what else you can do with this fucking beauty? It's a fucking beauty. And you're like, you're not trying to sell it. You're just saying, I can't believe I own this. It's awesome. And show some photos and stuff. And that enthusiasm, that passion, that interest, it's infectious. I think I've had, in my lifetime, 2 teachers that were this kind of person. They're just, by their very walking into the room on the subject that they're so into, you just want to be, you want to know everything. You just want to know everything. So I think when you start talking about your photography, it can be this. So why don't you do it? Let's set a little task, shall we? I'll meet you now next competition out in Galty. So what you do this week? Did you get your little thing going? What's it called? Where are you putting it? Show me and subscribe. It'll be cool. You're going to go by ferry?
I'm going to go by ferry with a small little camper van, and going to a camping, and because the price, like I say, $450 just from Dublin to Lyon, and then you have to rent a car, and if you don't take the insurance, you have to put like €1,500 in deposits for credit
it's
card.
Bullshit, isn't it?
And so you end up like paying even more than just going with your own car.
If you go with the car, how long will that take you? I mean,
will
you have to go a few days earlier?
Yeah, but then it's holidays.
Of course, yeah.
It's
but will you have
holidays.
someone with you so you can swap driving?
Yeah, it was the guy who owns the car is actually Dave McDermott. He's from Wexford Archery.
All right.
And Ishdana, the new, they are CIFA and IFAF, the new, you probably heard of. They are purple jersey. Ishdana in Wexford, Arthurstone, Ramsgrange, that area.
No, look, you know more about than I do. I'm not even.
Okay.
I'm Irish.
They for a long time they used to be CIFA only, and now they just in January they joined at the last AGM, IFAF. They joined IFAF, so they one of the new IFAF club.
Is there many CFAF guys doing that? Moving over to IFAF?
I don't know.
I don't know much, but the vibe I'm getting is that's what's happening. It's like IFAF is going to be
the new,
the only one.
The new thing. I don't know.
The biggest one, definitely.
Yeah. So we are going together.
That's cool, because you can make a bit of a thing out of it. Like
we will.
You should document it.
Yeah, absolutely. With this one.
Yes.
That's the plan.
Yeah.
And because I was invited, I was looking to go with a camper van to make it like more holiday, and then you can you don't have to stick to hotel or apartment to make
way
it
more freedom, and
exactly.
you see way much more. And who knows? There's more opportunities there. That
absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Happenstance. If you have, you never know.
So I have the holiday I booked. So Dave says we can drive the. He also registered, but he doesn't know for sure now if he's gonna come. But maybe it was gonna be. Yeah, he was really interested in his. He already registered just in case. You know, so and if something, we can just. But that
when
will
is
be
that
cool.
happening?
It's the last weekend of August. It's, EFAF used to have a championship called EFAF Champ.
I didn't know that.
Oh, that was until last year. So
See,
it was
I only got into last July.
Okay, so EFAF used to have a weekend in the summer they called the EFAF Champ, and one club will do the EFAF Champ. It's 2 days, Saturday and Sunday, that you run like kind of tricky shot.
Like what was up in Liège kind of recently?
But that's the thing. That was before you can do whatever you want, but it was two days of shooting.
Yeah.
And now EFAF decide to split the champ, to have one champ for indoor, one champ for field, one champ for bow hunter.
All right.
But France, they still do
all in one.
All in one.
Yeah.
So you have like 4 days, and you have field, hunter, 3D, and unmarked animal run. All the 4
awesome.
IFA, but in one weekend. Condensed. And the other things as well.
How many hours are you going to shoot in those days? Like,
it's 14. It's 14. It's not 28.
All right.
So it's still yeah.
Still a bit.
And so, but the thing is, you shoot from a ski resort. So you have to go to take the the cable car to go there. And it's in the mountain, and so yeah. And when you invited,
this sounds like a James Bond movie, man.
Kind of, yeah. But it's lovely, and if you invited to
you gotta go. You gotta go.
Of course,
I'd be going, even though I hate those fucking things. I'll walk. See you later.
But also, it's in the Alps in France in August. So
hello.
Yeah, absolutely.
Get some shots, man.
Absolutely.
Fuck.
Absolutely.
I can't wait to see these photos.
Oh, yeah, I can't wait.
You should definitely do a little documentary on your phone, even 15-minute video a day.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be cool, man. Put up on YouTube.
Yeah.
My invitation, I accept. Off we go.
Challenge accepted. Yeah.
That is the name of your documentary.
Yeah.
And put some stills up there as well. That'd be fucking cool, man.
Yeah, it will be. Yeah.
I look forward to seeing this.
No. So when they told me, like, and I was they invited me from the club who organized this.
Yeah.
I've been there to two of their shoots.
Right.
One last year and one in May.
Awesome.
And they will say, "Oh, are you coming? And I say, "Yeah, I have to think about it. And then you receive the invitation from the president of the FFTL.
No, you gotta go.
Then you say, "Okay, okay."
I was going to my car, but now I'm going on holiday.
Yeah.
But
So
that's
just pull the day. And I remember last summer, your man Dave McDermott, he say, "I have a camper van. If you want to go for one weekend or something, just let me know. It's the van, it owns to the garage, so I can rent it to you, whatever." So I just contact, and they say, when is the date again? In August? You go to France? Okay, put me in. That's how we go, the two of us together. So that's
lots of wine.
Yeah. Lots of wine, lots of wine and good food and good
photos.
Good photos and good arrows as well. And you meet people, because I know during the invitation I could see some names. There are some people from Belgium, some from Germany. Right. So even if it's a French championship, there will be some melting pot international as well, because they have the invitation in French, German, English, and Italian. So they expect also some international. So that's great.
It'd be a good experience.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
because we're looking at one in Spain in March. I think it's an indoor thing.
It's in indoor in Canaries.
Some island.
Canary Island. Yeah.
We're thinking of that.
Mallorca. Yeah, I think so. Or Fuerteventura or Lanzarote.
Some fucking thing anyway.
I know it's an island. Yeah,
it's in the middle of the sea. And all I'm watching online is fucking shark attacks and shit. Because what the fuck? I'm not going. I'm so not going.
No.
But look, it's It's just sometimes you need a push to get out of your fucking daily cycle
in daily routine.
and just get something fucking completely new.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you know, you'd be thinking it's not a practical thing to do, but you'd love to do it. So just fucking do it.
Yeah.
You know, you've plenty of time to organise your shit to get it there, and that's what we're going to make the whole family thing like.
Yeah. But you know that there's one thing I regret about this year is because at the moment now there is the World Bow Hunter Championship in Finland.
Yes.
Organized by IFA.
All right.
And
you didn't go.
I didn't go, and I thought that it's the World Championship. I don't have the level to go.
Fuck the level.
And you know,
it's on the day. It's the shooter on the day.
Yeah.
Anything can happen.
And I know, and now I regret that I didn't register last year, or even because Finland was supposed to happen in 2021 or 22,
right.
Like before the COVID, and they postponed everything. So
before the scam.
Yeah,
so
that's the things I regret.
You don't have the level, because I remember we were out shooting in the woods, and
because it's IFA, and that's the difference between IFA and World Archery. World Archery is about the point; it's about getting the gold.
Yes,
and the gold, the 11 as they call it, and this is what you need. And to attend the championship, you need to go to qualification, like round of qualification, and you need to have your score. And if you don't have a score, there's no way you can qualify, because they only take the first 15 or the first 20. That's a World Archery. IFA is different. As long as you need 2 shoots on field hunter, unmarked animal round, whatever. You went to Goldie, you went to Portlish. That's it. You're done. You can go to Finland World Championship. That's
what you want. That's inclusive, like. Because I'm a firm believer. I mean, I remember saying it to a group we were shooting with out in one of the evenings we were practicing, and because I'd probably go to Spain, and for what, like, for that competition. You know, that's the best of the best will be at that competition. I don't give a fuck who's there. If Robin Hood is there, I don't care. I might win. Who knows? And he's looking at me like I'm crazy.
Just
you don't fucking know. It's an experience you're going for, and what happens along the way, who knows? You can't say. I can't say. All I can say is I'm going to try to go there and see what happens. I will train as if I'm going to go to win. That's how I approach it. So I'll come start of January, I will train specifically for that. And that's where I'll be. And if I win, I win. If I don't win, at least I get a tan.
You get a tan, you get good food.
I'll probably get the runs. Don't drink the water. But fuck it, it's just a push. To get out of your fucking everyday bullshit and expand your mind. I mean, once you take baby steps into things like this, you start thinking bigger. You start thinking, you get a bit braver. And you start realizing you've been in a fucking prison in your mind because you thought, well, we're in this situation and we're defined by... You're not. Just wake the fuck up. Do shit. Move. Go on. Do this. So that's where we are.
No, and that's also the things when you go to like last year I went to Confolens in France, the European Bow Hunter Championship. That was last year in France. And you met a lot of people. You met bow maker from all over Europe who make their own bows and arrows, and then you have a chat at the end of the shoot and you talk with them. And then you realize that
Facebook buddies.
Exactly. And then because I shoot the very traditional Asian kind of style with a thumb ring and stuff.
I know how you fucking do that.
And then you met other people who they don't laugh at you when you do that. Like I hate when you go to a sport archery shop like in France or Germany and you ask for a thumb ring and they say, why do you shoot thumb ring? Because you don't make points and blah blah blah. I say, fuck that. This is the way I shoot.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
And
you said the right thing too. Fuck you.
Yeah, and then you go to competition. Even in Ireland, some people, I'm not gonna give names, but they will say, well, why do you shoot with a thumb ring? You should go like traditional or even to be more precise. But I say, I don't give a shit. Like
that's not what it is.
I'm here for the fun. I'm here for the fun.
But don't you think?
And I don't. Okay, it's the money wise. Yes, I will break less arrow if I was shooting with an arrow on a shelf, trad recurve. But I don't care. I don't care if I break 10 arrows. I have a repair kit at home. I can repair them.
But you're drawn to that particular way of archery.
But the thing is, but here in Ireland, I don't met a lot of people shooting thumb ring.
They probably don't know about it.
Yeah, but that's when you go to this competition.
You expand your knowledge.
You're not the only one, and you met other people who also shoot thumb ring and also who are delighted.
Yes.
And once they move to thumb release, they don't want to go back to Mediterranean loose or the 3-finger under.
But it's such a variety of ways.
Exactly.
And
So
you're drawn to whatever you're drawn to.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
simple.
And then you end your shoot because you're at the European shoot. It's the same in Finland. You have to shoot 28 target in a row. There is no stop for lunch, so you have to.
Right.
So when you finish at 3 or
finished.
4, 5 o'clock, you met at the village where the archer village, and you have the beer, and this is where you chat with other archer, and you talk about your shoot and stuff and the experience, and then you just learn that the guy is in front of you. He makes his own bow and arrow, and then you shoot some release and blah blah blah, and he talks about making a bow for you, and then you say why not, and then I order a bow from a guy I met at the he has his workshop in Brittany, in France, and I ordered the bow at the European Championship, and the bow was ready just before Christmas. So on my way to see the family for Christmas holiday, I
pick up the bow.
I pick up the bow, and it had his place and close to Lorient in France, and I met the person
who made the bow
right at this competition. If I never went to this competition, I would have never.
Sure,
so
that's the beauty about getting involved.
So it was just like I was maybe say, okay, I went to the European, maybe I should not go to World and blah blah blah, but now it's pushed. Now I regret I'm not part of.
But you're going to the French one, so
I will go to the French one,
go to the next one.
Next one is in Austria next year in 20. So
I will go to that one myself.
I will go as well.
Yeah.
So
that's a great thing.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of IFA.
Are you bringing that bow with you next Sunday? Or what bow will you be shooting in the competition?
I will be shooting with the bow made in Brittany.
I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, it's a beautiful long bow, and the guy made it specially to match the historical category in IFA, which you're not allowed to have fiberglass, carbon, or whatever. So it's made purely with historical, like only wood, and that's it. And
cool.
So yeah. And I love that. I love that.
No, I love it too. It's just, I just worry that sometimes maybe everyone's fucking shooting compound. And it's like, come on, the fuck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It goes back to what I was saying about photographers and cameras. Some just like the gadgets and the gizmos, and that's it. That's their main focus. And other people, any camera will do because it's just helping them get something beyond an instrument. Do you know what I mean? But fuck, there's room for everybody to do whatever the fuck they want. So just get on with it. You know what I mean? Because even at Dunbrody and Limerick and fucking Laois, at the end of the day, you like you said, you meet new people and you're chit chatting about stuff, and it could go anywhere, and that's cool. I mean, because I started going to those competitions, Owen has been in here, Marison has been, and now you're in here. I'd love to get McSeary in here and grill him, because he's a fucking dinger on the bow, isn't he? I see some of his scores and it's like, is he shooting compound? Because I'm like, how did he get that? Fucker's a dinger, But so it's all about, mix and match. Go out and meet people, talk, share something.
Yeah.
So it's cool.
Not about the points and stuff. Forgot about the points.
Look, that should be for the personal individual. They might be obsessed about the points thing for the day because I've been training, I want to see the results for me. But it doesn't mean you have to go and ruin it for you and for everyone else by assuming they're there for the same thing.
Yeah.
They're there just to get out, enjoy the woods, shoot a few targets, have some fun.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Not me, I'm there to win.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. Well, I am, but you know, I try to have all of it. I want all of it. I want to have the social aspect of it. I want to have to walk in the woods, see some beautiful woods. I want to just take in everything. You know what I mean? And I want to improve my shooting dramatically. So you're kind of at the start of a long adventure, and you know, appreciate that.
Because
it's a lovely place.
Last year in France, the first day at this competition, I was in a group where one of the guy he finished in the podium, second.
Yeah.
And there was another guy. They start, in order to see your scoring and the way you do, they start with the 1 arrow round. And the 1 arrow round will, you know, it's so difficult for traditional and longbows and even historical, that this is how they sort the people, you know, if you have a good score or not, and this is how they sort the group. There was one guy, he couldn't make his score as he used to be, and he just left after one day, after day one. And you're just like, that's the group I'm in. I mean, no way. This is supposed to be fun, like, to enjoy the south of France, enjoy the sun, enjoy meeting other archers.
You've gone a long way to get there.
Yeah,
you've driven a few days to get there. You're not going to fuck off in a tantrum.
After one day, the man just left and went
But
home because
these people are everywhere.
He knew that he will not be on the podium, and that's fucking it's fucked up. The
mental illness,
because the hunting round is you can't. It's not because you missed the hunting round that you will miss the unmarked animal round, which is the 3 hours, or you will miss the standard 3D, which is the 2 hours. So focusing on only the hunting round that you miss, of course you can
make it up.
If you look at the French guy who finished third, the first day he didn't do a great score. It's just like he went really high on the unmarked animal round for the 2 unmarked animal round we have to do. And this is where you catch up with the score, like above 400 or something. And then you had the last one was the 3D, the standard 3D, which is the 2 arrow, and it was just like the final, you know, like to make sure that you're doing correctly. But you could catch up, even if your hunting round was shit. You can do very good and unmarked animal round. So leaving on the first day,
it's fucking crazy. I mean, do you ever hear people say, well, it's better to have a bad start and a good finish than a good start, because you could have had the best day on the first day and then a tragedy the next day, you know what I mean? Your form could have just disappeared. But like you said, it's the occasion you're there for, you know what I mean? The score and all the podium, that's just, hey, it's part of a bigger picture. It's not the picture. But for some people, it clearly is. But I mean, you can only just... What can you do? Say, hey, calm down. And then they'll probably fucking shoot you. So it's just like... I just think, okay, there's assholes everywhere. But there's not many. But you just need one asshole. And it's best to just say, oh, I see you're an asshole. Okay, I'm going over here to these people. Bye. Instead of fucking letting them stain your experience with their silliness. But look, they're evolving too. You gotta, you know, it's a new approach I have. I just think they're just not there yet. You know, they gotta go through we're all going through a learning curve of a sort of our own choosing or whatever. So it's just, they're not just there yet. So instead of saying, condemning them, maybe learn from it. That's what I try to do, but again, it's a trick. It's a trick to learn anything, especially when it's to do with your own behaviour and how you deal with other people's behaviour, because sometimes I get very hot-headed, and when I look back on the situation later, I'm like, I could have handled that a lot better. I should have had more control of myself than this, not worrying about controlling a situation, but at least you can control yourself. And then you end up being the biggest problem in the fucking room. Like, that wasn't my best moment. But fuck it, you're human, and this is part of it, you know. It's like, well, that was my first day. It was a bad day. I'm going home.
Yeah.
End of. But you know,
Yeah.
you just gotta fucking revisit things, you know.
Exactly. Yeah.
I just, you could be dead tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why bother getting fucking stupid over a podium?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? All right, when I go there in my head to a competition, I'm going there to win. Because that's how I know my brain works. If I'm not putting myself under pressure by saying it or by thinking it. I just have identified a target, a goal for me personally for the day. That's my goal, and that's like, you know, the spine of my day is that. But the body of the day is just new people. I'm in a new place. I'm getting all these experiences, these visions, these tastes, like the foods, the coffees, blah blah blah, all these little things, and you just fucking try to appreciate every second of it, like, you know what I mean? And it's a beautiful thing. So just chill the fuck out, let's enjoy the day, have a coffee, have a cake, shoot some arrows. You're already a winner. You're already here. So shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Enjoy it.
Yeah.
So, are you going to come back here with your little video after August?
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, and tell me about your whole trip.
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
be riveted about it.
Yeah.
I want to see something on Facebook.
Absolutely.
Or wherever. Have you a YouTube channel?
I don't, but I have a Facebook. I have a website where I put my.
Your photography stuff, is that?
Yeah.
And have you like a newsletter from the website or anything like that? No.
I think I will. Yeah. At the moment, I just rebuilt my whole website with WordPress, and I just put the photo gallery at the moment. But probably I will start a blog on the.
See, that's why I think YouTube is a fantastic instrument. Because it doesn't take the time that maybe I used to love writing blogs when I had my first website. But then it's like, you know, you're getting stretched and pulled in directions, and time becomes very scarce, and it's like you want to be completely in what you're doing at any given moment. So, you know, you're happy with what you put out or whatever. And then when you're under pressure, time-wise, that can be not the case. So with YouTube, it's like, you know, you're at work, you finish a particular thing, and you just take a photo, and then you get, why am I taking a photo? So then I'll take a little video, maybe a 15-20 second video, and then I'll mess with it on my lunch break. I'll add the photos to the video, and then I'll upload it to whatever on YouTube. And it's fuller, and it's better, and it's no time at all. It's no time at all, and it's fun. As opposed to sitting down, what did I think of that? Oh, and then writing and rewriting and editing and re-editing, and then, fuck, you're after putting way too much time into something that didn't require that much time. Whereas the YouTube thing, and it just click the fucking button, blah, 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 done. Upload. You're happy with what you put out. You got it in the heat of the moment. It's real, it's unrehearsed, and it's gone off, and you're happy, and it's there. And you don't even need a website these days, I find, even though I'm trying to get one together for the art. But it's just, you know, you just got to keep figuring out what's the best way for you to kind of use things like YouTube, you know, because I don't know, I just find that's never going anywhere. That's staying. If anything, it's just going to go from strength to strength, you would think. But I could be wrong. But yeah, so you should get into, that's a new habit maybe you should nurture, because when you're dealing with a visual thing, you know, and you can speak very well, especially when you're speaking about something you like doing, so I highly recommend you do it. Get your fucking Apple there, hit the video, and do your thing, and get a YouTube channel together. Get some shit out there, man. And then I don't have to wait till the next fucking competition. Say, oh, there's his bow. He told me all about the bow. I'm watching it on YouTube. Class. Or the camera or whatever, you know what I mean? It's like a little message in a bottle. Fuck it out into the ether. See what happens. So, that's what I think. We'll wrap it up until we come back, because those kids they're going to make my editing life very difficult to edit them out of this fucking thing. I have to just get this. I must do it simultaneously, and I'll let you know how this experiment goes. Okay. But
and cut.
let's cut.